Today, we have a conversation with my brother Drew, and to be honest with you, there wasn't a lot of expectations, but Drew spoke, we listened, and everybody learned a lot from it, so we hope you do too. Enjoy. Good evening, everybody. This is Kelby again with
Yuke.
Fire Through Fog. Yuke's here,
Yep.
and we have my brother Drew. How you doing tonight, Drew?
Good. How you doing?
Good.
Good.
Pretty hot right now. We just did our workout. It was a pretty
I'm
good
pretty
one.
exhausted.
Yeah.
I know it was a rough one.
I don't want to hear it.
Where were you at?
True.
Yeah.
Behind the house?
Well, the kids wanted to stay up a little bit longer than normal.
Traffic.
Okay.
So traffic, kids.
You'll get the next one tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
We'll see.
awesome. So like I do before I explain what Fire Through Fog is, Drew kind of already knows what Fire Through Fog is, and he's got a good testimony for us tonight. We don't know a lot about it. I do know bits and pieces of it, of what led to where he is at now, so I'm looking forward to it, man. So if you just want to jump right into it from the beginning. I mean, I know we share one of these events that kind of got the ball rolling with this, with our grandmother passing, so...
Yeah, that was probably the hardest part. Obviously, she was close to you for most of your life, all of it, if not all of it, and then I came into play a little later in life, and we didn't have a lot of contact with them because they're in Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the love that we had for her and our grandfather is just amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, we seemed close, even though we saw them once a year. They came out every year on their plane and all that stuff. So it was definitely a tough one. We couldn't see her pass, unfortunately. Just heard it over the phone. Just got to say her last words.
Yeah, that was pretty rough.
Yeah, it didn't really hit me until, I called you that night after it did. And then I just,
that was overwhelming.
It was,
that was a lot on you, I could tell.
Yeah, I was around our cousins, but not like intermediate family that knew our pain.
Yeah, at least you had Alec there. So.
Yeah, that was huge. He was very helpful with that, and I haven't broke down like that in a long time, since Grandpa Blitch, probably when I was 9 years old.
Yeah, it's needed every once in a while, to be honest with you. You got that stigma of men don't feel like they don't need to cry, right?
It's true.
And that's what I think that was what was holding me back the most, is I was just trying to be the stronger person. Keep your manlyhood, but you just can't do that. I mean, you get too far into it, and you could hurt yourself if you just don't let go.
Mentally and physically, it could lead to, for sure.
Absolutely. I saw it with Dad. It was tough on him, and he just wasn't showing it. He didn't go out to Oregon to see the whole burial or ashing.
Yeah.
And I know it was hard. I'm sure he broke down when me, you, and Mom went, and thank the Lord Jess was there while Grandma was going under all this pain.
So, this was the biggest, probably, that you've experienced in your young life.
It was
the biggest life-altering event for you.
Definitely the biggest. I think
closest.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You said Grandpa at 9s, but you were only 9.
I was 9. I didn't know what was going on.
You couldn't feel the full impact, basically.
Exactly. Probably the only reason I cried was because the gunshots going off for his 21 gun salute.
That's intense.
Which is also, traumatic as a kid.
Yeah.
But this one, it really hit deep. It was affecting me months later. It happened in December. It's still, I think about her every day.
Yeah.
I got a picture on my desk of her, and I've been breaking down recently. It's been hard, which also we can lead into the conversation of what's been going on for me this year.
Yeah, that's really why I wanted to hear tonight. Just, you've had a couple pretty significant events happen to you that probably won't happen to a lot of people.
Right.
And to some it may sound pretty insignificant because you're here, you're fine.
Right.
It doesn't, nothing, you weren't really harmed extreme. So
I'm alive.
But as the individual that it happened to, there's some feelings in there that some people may not know or realize. So
right.
Yeah, just go ahead and explain.
Okay.
Well, real quick, let's go back. Give give some information about, what exactly was going on with your grandma.
Yeah.
What happened?
Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Diagnosis, stuff like that.
You want to take this one?
I mean, I don't know a lot. I just know basically her entire life she's had health issue after health issue. I'm pretty sure a lot of it's, I've heard cancer was a lot of them, which probably led to other events that she's battled. But man, she's got a song, and I'm already getting chills thinking about a fight song. It's, the fight song or whatever. I forget how it goes.
This is my fight.
Yeah.
Song.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
That song, man, it fit her perfect. So she's just been off and on battling health conditions and everything.
And she wasn't even supposed to be born.
Yeah.
To live after birth, and she lived 75 years.
Yeah.
I think
this last one hit. What led to her death is it hit pretty hard and quick. So.
It was like Grandpa said, he thought she was just going to pull through, like she always did. And it was out of nowhere. I think her body was just, after 75 years of going through, pardon my French, but absolute hell.
Yeah.
Hell on earth. But she was probably the greatest inspiration in my life.
Yeah.
Because every time I was around her, I didn't see any ounce of pain she was in. Yeah. She never showed it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that right there is cool to hear, because I can completely agree with you. I mean, you wouldn't know. I mean, she came down to Charleston. That was like the last year I think I was there. And it was with my mom and her, and Drew came, and you wouldn't know that she was in pain until I heard, like, a few years later she was hurting that
severe
whole
pain,
time, could not breathe. So just seeing that, I mean, that should just make you think, like, man, I don't have a lot to complain about.
I look, like you just said, I look back at life and I see people struggling through life with no arms, no legs, just cancer. Kids with cancer kills me. Yeah. That's the worst thing I've ever, like,
losing a kid. I mean, losing a kid. Just having Aunt Shelly on last weekend, hearing that story.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just like, you wake up every day. I have it on my phone. Like, my lock screen is just be grateful. Mm-hmm. Be grateful. Even if it's not a lot, you just got to be grateful. God has got your back, and it could be worse. Yeah. It could be so much worse.
So, I mean, you would think Grandma Sally, she was here every day, it seemed like. I mean, how close we were. We always picked up where she came when we seen her. Like, we always picked up. We always, when you knew Grandma Sally was coming, because it's mind your P's and Q's, respect, this and that. You're not hanging out with your friends. We're here with Grandma and Grandpa, and it's just, she definitely had an effect on the family. Still does, always will.
Huge effect. I mean, like I said, I see her every day. I hear her every day. I that's what got me really close to God. Finding I haven't been close to Him through my younger life, because I just didn't know what He was or how He did His miracles and everything. We were raised Catholic right away, and then we transferred to non-denominational, and I just didn't understand until I got to college, and then her passing, and then it really spoke to me. And I wish I knew sooner, but now I'm involved in a church group right now. I go to church every day in Columbus, every Sunday, and Wednesday nights I have a church group that I hang out with, and we just talk the word of the Lord. And it's
awesome.
It's helped me so much get closer to her, even though she's not here right now. I still get emotional about it, but thank God that she's up there and not in pain right now.
Yeah, I mean, I used to be the same way. It's like death, the sound of death, and I was afraid of death, and it was not. I always thought, well, death sucks. I don't want to go to a funeral. That's not fair. But now that I've had my relationship, it's been probably 5 or 6 years now. It's just like, man, yeah, I don't want to die. No one wants to die. I want to spend as much time and have as many memories as down here as I can. But man, heaven sounds great. And now these people, it's just like I tell people, they're not hurting anymore. Yeah, you might hurt now, but they're not, and we'll all be together one day. So, is that hit where you were going?
That's for sure. I grew up in church, so I've had that background. I had my moments also. That's I didn't stay on the path the whole time, but one thing that always stood out to me is one of the preachers that I listened to a long time ago. He used to say that funerals are supposed to be a celebration of life.
Yeah, right.
Like they're not, like you said, she's not in pain anymore.
No,
like
exactly.
We should celebrate that she's not in pain anymore.
Right.
She's happy, guaranteed she's happy.
Yeah,
stuff like that. So that was one of the things that always stood out to me when I was younger, was that funerals weren't supposed to be sad.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously you have emotion, stuff like that, but you're supposed to be able to celebrate those people.
It definitely has that mantra, I guess, of just being down and sad. But I mean, should I be the one that makes it happy? Yeah, I mean, puts a smile on people, and that's what it should be. We're celebrating this life, and
right?
Yes, lives are taken unexpectedly, but it's always should be a celebration. But
I agree.
Yeah, that was. I mean, it's a tough moment. We're still kind of dealing with it, but
yeah,
we're gonna.
She affects our lives every day, even though she's not here.
Yeah.
We'll be together again eventually.
Absolutely.
So, and then, so moving on, you had an event that. One of those events that I get a call at, I think it was like 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah, that was
from my brother.
Yeah,
I was expecting, hey man, I'm in jail. Can you come pick me up? Can be completely honest with you,
right.
Because I mean we've built our relationship over the years.
I think it was like the last time Grandma came to Charleston is when we really kicked off.
Oh yeah,
because you were gone for 8 years and I was just growing up as a kid.
That was another thing. I mean, we're half brothers basically.
Yeah.
So, but we are brothers. Period.
Yeah.
So we have that gap in between us. What is it? 9, 10 years
9
almost.
years, I think.
9 and some change. So, I mean, Drew, when I left, he was 11. We had a fun relationship, just a younger brher I'd pick on and beat up on.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So,
break my arm.
But yeah, that's another story. So, I mean, we didn't have that close relationship, but that time you came down with Grandma, I mean, we had a heck of a time in the garage that one night. And we learned some things about each other.
That we cannot speak over at Mike.
We got closer, and it was awesome. And ever since then,
it just clicked,
skyrocketed.
I think that was Grandma doing her thing, you know.
So yeah, and which leads to many of the reasons. I mean, we're close as all get out now. I mean, you call me about anything, I can call you. And this one night happened to be at 2:30 in the morning, and
I think
Drew, go ahead.
This event kind of affected probably the way I look at life, and the rest of my life. Like, there's no, I mean, it affected me traumatically. But long story short, I was walking home.
No, we want the long story.
Okay, yeah.
Let's hear the details.
Let's go
we
long.
need the
Let's
juiciness.
Go long. So I woke up at 7 a.m.
Oh,
I just kidding.
Okay.
But so I live in Columbus, right by campus, and it's getting to be a dangerous area. There's gangs coming up from the northeast Ohio, like the northeast branch, and what?
No, you're good.
Okay.
Good.
They're coming down through campus and starting to loot and all this stuff, you know, bringing more drugs into the society, which is horrible. It's kind of ruining the campus for students who want to just get a good experience. But anyway, I was coming back from a small house party with some friends, and we got split up in the group because I was, grabbing some late night food, going to bring it back for the house. And so I was walking back on a street near my house.
Were you by yourself?
I was by myself,
Okay.
yes, which was probably not a good idea, but it was, late at night. It was a split. They were going back to unlock the house and everything. So I thought nothing of it. Hopefully Mom doesn't hear about this, but
Have you done this before?
I have not. No, we usually walk in groups just because it's getting that bad. We know the consequences. There's been shootings and, people getting mugged, which, getting to my point, I was walking alone. A guy came up behind me. He was asking, just slurred questions. He was a little taller. I couldn't really see. It was pitch black at night, and he was asking for money or a slice of pizza, which I had. And I politely denied and kept walking. And it just, out of the blue, I don't know, it was like go time. He grabbed my wallet out of my back right pocket. Somehow, I don't know how he got it, but he grabbed it. I turned around and he tackled me to the ground. And it was all an instant, like out of nowhere, just like 2 seconds. Like, he grabbed it, tackled me, and then he punched me in the face, which I didn't really feel because the adrenaline was rushing. And my quick instinct from boxing from like 5 years at Ohio State, just a club, I hit him back and it knocked him backwards. I don't know if he was unconscious or anything. I didn't have time. I didn't want to look or anything. And he laid back. I was bleeding out of my mouth. I grabbed everything. I even grabbed the pizza, by the way. I grabbed it all. I grabbed my money. Yeah. So he hit me pretty hard because when I got back to the house, I obviously ran back. So I was on the ground, grabbed the stuff, threw it over a fence, and then ran back. I wasn't going to stay there. And, people were like, why didn't you fight him? Why didn't you keep beating him? Because I didn't know what he had.
Mm-hmm.
He could have had a knife. He could have had a gun. It could have affected my life.
Yeah.
Tremendously.
And I mean, that's the number one rule is just run.
And the intentions they have, they're poor. They want drug money, and they don't care if they hurt anybody. And obviously, because he hit me and tackled me. So, when I got back, people were saying that in the house. I ran in and I was spitting blood in the sink, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, what happened?" And at that moment, I just didn't say anything, and I just heard the word like of God just, and I was like, "Wow, I'm thankful." Like, holy crap, that just happened. Like my adrenaline was going. Like, I just stopped. I'm like, "Thank you, God, for not letting me die this night." Like, I'm getting chills just talking about it. And people are like, "Oh my gosh, like, did he get any money?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, I don't know how I reacted because he hit me hard. Like, I had a fat lip. I was bleeding, and he could have. I mean, if I didn't get a clean hit or anything, if I didn't respond, I could not be here right now. I mean, you never know. And
I mean, that's the thing. Like, sorry to stop you, but
you good.
I mean, I'm sitting here listening to this, and when I heard you, I was like, okay, Drew, you got punched, like you got mugged. It probably happens all the time, but hearing from you, I mean, I've never been in that situation, so I don't know. You mean in that situation, what if he did have a knife? What if he did have a gun? I mean, you don't know that. These people, I mean, they can do whatever they want.
People are getting robbed at gunpoint. Yeah. So,
I mean, that's crazy because, people can be quick to judge, like saying, oh, you just got, I mean, it happens all the time, man. But I mean, anything can happen. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on these days.
Absolutely.
I mean, people are getting killed for no reason out in the streets.
Exactly. And I didn't want to take that chance. I just something told me to fight back and run. That's
I mean, people might think that's cowardly to run, but I mean, if you can run, I say do it.
Right. And I don't intend on hurting people. Like I'm totally against it. But if my life's affected, and I have the opportunity to defend myself, like I have my CCW, but obviously I was drinking that night, and I would not have that on me. It was just instinct.
You're just evading.
Yeah, exactly. And the next day, well, I called you, and I didn't know who to call. Because there's no way I'm calling my parents, just saying like, hey, for them to worry 2 hours away, that's not. And I knew you could, be calm about it and calm me down. I had my friends there, but I needed to tell a family member just to let them know that like I could have been seriously hurt, or I
mean, a shot. It happens, man. You're in the streets. You're in a big city. Like you don't. It's crazy. And hearing your story, I mean, it's just makes people second think. Like hearing these details.
Right. And thank God you answered, because I don't know. I broke down the next day after everything processed in my mind of what just happened. Like I couldn't, my life literally flashed before my eyes, and I've never had that before. And it really hit, because I'm like, maybe that was grandma, saving me. Like, holy crap. Like, and that's when God really came into my life, like full bore. Like I'm going to church every Sunday now. Like someone was watching out for me, and I don't know why, because I feel like as humans, we don't deserve God's gifts.
So, I mean, that leads to my next question. I was going to ask, do you think you needed the experience? Like, is this something you needed?
Absolutely.
At the point in your life at that time?
I don't take life for granted now, and I don't walk alone. And I still carry pizza, but it's I think, I hate to say it, but everyone needs an eye-opening experience, whether it's good or bad. I think just someone obviously mine was bad, and I've had two, and we're leading to the next point.
So there's another part.
Get ready. So
this was a couple weeks later.
Our house got broken into in the Sunday morning at 5 a.m, because we had cameras from other houses that didn't catch the people, but they caught the cars getting brought away at that time. They broke into our house either through the window or the back door. The lock was kind of picked at, and they were in our house, and they took 2 cars, my car and my roommate's car. And just knowing that someone mugged me, and then later, a few weeks later, another person was in my house. Just, you don't know their intentions. Yeah. And I get chills saying this every time, because it's like someone with intentions to steal something or hurt someone was in my house with my roommates.
I mean, at this point, you're sitting here second thinking like, it's time to go.
It's go time. And if I was awake, because I almost slept on the couch with my sidearm, and at that moment, I'm thinking about it every time. Like, if I caught them, what would I do? Like, if like what would they have? What would I like? I don't know. It's just like it runs through my head every day. And thank God they only took cars. I mean, they totaled the cars, which makes no sense. They stole the cars, totaled them, didn't get anything out of it.
Yeah, you guys got both of them, but you didn't get them back, but you got to go see them and get your belongings.
Exactly. Yeah, we got our belongings back, but it's just like the thing is they were just there. You don't know what they could have done to us, and we were all sleeping. It was just scary to think about. That was another, but now our house is like Fort Knox, so we got floodlights, cameras, and I couldn't sleep for a week.
Yeah,
I was up every night, like every minute I heard anything. I even the other day, so I took my CCW class with Charles that used to work with us, and he was like giving me scenarios like play by play that you could do in your own house when you have a gun. It's just like where you walk through your house. If you imagine someone in your house, just know your corners, know what you need to know, because if someone's in their house, they don't know the house, but you need to know your own house. So I this is kind of ridiculous. I put X's on my floor from my bedroom where it doesn't squeak to walk. Nice. So I got a light and I got my gun, so I can see these X's where it doesn't squeak, and I know my corners now, just to be ready. Yeah. But I don't know.
You can never be too prepared.
No, exactly. That's the thing. It's just like it runs through my mind. Like sleeping there is just not the same, and it never will be the same ever.
Yeah.
I mean, we had neighbors
break
into their house when we were younger.
Did that ever affect you? Has that ever done anything?
Yeah. Like again, I was young, so it never. But you guys, obviously, Jess.
Oh, I mean, I lock the heck out of everything. I double, triple check doors still to this day.
It's crazy.
And I even do that stinking mom and dad's. And
right.
Anywhere I'm staying, exactly. I'm checking their doors.
Right.
It's just instinct nowadays.
Yeah. It's the people coming into your house with the intention to steal something have the intention to hurt you, and that's
they have to.
If they have, bottom line, they will harm you and your family, and that's what terrifies me in Columbus right now.
Yeah, you just don't know.
Columbus is getting really bad, and I just can't wait to be out of that area. I mean, the Columbus by campus is just.
Yeah.
I mean, kids are getting shot. Like, teenage kids are getting shot. Like that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And cars are getting stolen, and it's bad, man.
Yeah. But I'm sure that's something. Obviously, I don't want anyone to experience, but I mean,
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
But you even agree that some people, everyone needs to go through something,
and
have their eyes open to not take life for granted.
More some than others. I mean, you have these teenage kids now that are focused on, Democrats and Republican and what you want to be when you grow up, and they're not even of age to vote. Like, these kids are looking at TikTok, social media, and their minds are getting portrayed to think a certain way. And it's just, I mean, these kids need just like a wake-up call. I don't wish any harm on anyone besides the people who stole my car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you still shouldn't.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah.
Right? I've learned that.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. I mean, you never know what they could be going through.
Exactly.
Just thank God they didn't hurt anyone in my house.
Yeah.
Speaking
of people in your house and friends, how are they taking it? Is anybody else kind of
everyone's obviously on edge. They've been locking the doors more than we used to, which, I mean, we should have done that before.
Yeah.
But now it's like, this is serious. Like, people do not care about your feelings.
You want to think the best of people.
Exactly. And which I try to do every day. I don't like talking about people bad. Like we discussed in the car, I don't talk bad about people. You just got to expect the unexpected.
You don't talk bad about people, but it's like you can talk about bad people.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
Not waste a bunch of energy on it, but just be like, this is your story, and hopefully they can turn their lives around.
It was a rough few months for me. 2020 was obviously bad for everyone, but 2021 is just like, it's one after another. I mean, I obviously fractured my ankle, got mugged, got my car stolen, like one after another. But this is going to lead me into a story that I learned from my pastor that he talked about 2 Sundays ago. And everyone knows, Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
For the people listening, Tiger Woods is probably one of the greatest golfers of our era. And he started out, everyone watched him. He was amazing. He was beating everyone. And he was winning every Masters like imaginable. He was like a superstar, probably one of the greatest athletes of his time. And people are like, oh my gosh, he's just a golfer. But like, golf is probably one of the hardest sports you'll ever play in your life. And then just the moment clicked that he hit a downfall, drug addicted. sex addicted. His wife was threatening to kill him. It was at his lowest point, and people were like, Tiger's, he's gone. His body was literally decaying from the inside out, from him being worn out from all of this stuff happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just clicked. He had his he came back to the Masters, what was it, 11 years later,
and won it.
And he won it. And he came back on the 18th green with a couple strokes ahead. And everyone, the pastor was saying, when he was watching, everyone in the crowd, even his wife, were just crying. They were bawling.
Mm-hmm.
And Jim Nantz was the announcer, one of the most famous announcers you could think of. And he usually talks a lot and everything. You know, he's like rambling about golfers, but he was silent until he got to the green. And when Tiger put that putt in to win, the 4 words he said was the return to glory. And the pastor's like thinking about that. He's like, that's exactly what God is saying right there. The return. Tiger was beaten down like everyone else in our lives right now. You may be going through anything right now. Like you don't, I mean, I've been going through living hell. Yeah. What I think, but people are going through way worse right now. I mean, there's people in war right now, but
this is definitely your story.
This is getting like near the bottom, if not the bottom of like my life. My grandma passed. I went through all these experiences, and I heard this story at the perfect time. Tiger came back from his worst experience of his life and won a Masters. Like who does that? That's a good fire through fog story. We should get Tiger Woods on here, huh? Yeah, exactly. You want to? That'd be sick.
I'll make the call.
You got a contact?
I thought you did. Yeah, you got the beard to do it.
I figured it out.
Perfect.
But it's the road to glory, and everyone fights their own battle, and you never know when you're going to hit rock bottom. Everyone does. It's some people, they go through life easily, but when you do hit rock bottom, it's only up from here. And he came back and did this because of one man and one man only. It was God.
Yeah.
And it's just like everyone was bawling because they knew that they believed in him. Like, how do you come back from all that?
Yeah.
And like now from me, when I was thinking about when we committed to 75 hard, I'm like, what's my road to glory going to be? And we're on the ride to Ann Arbor, which is 2.5 hours away. And I'm like thinking this whole time, like we're joking, like, oh, let's do 75 hard. And then it hit me. Like, I haven't told you this yet, but it like, I almost teared up because like this could be my change in life because I need something.
Yeah.
I was at my bottom and now
you're saying you hit rock bottom. You're there.
I was at rock
bottom.
And
I mean, not to take anything away. And I know just people, this is your story, Drew. Some rock bottoms are a lot deeper than others.
Deeper,
so
way deeper.
No one should ever think, oh, he only had this, and that. No. This is your story. This is you.
Right.
So that's something I like to highlight.
And I thank God that I believe this is my rock bottom because it was pretty bad for what I think. It was one after another. I mean, I was low on money, going through college, getting my getting my ass beat to the dirt, and I just kept praying, just because I was like, you know what, God has something for me, and maybe this is my wake up call again. Obviously, Grandma's up there right now watching over us, and I just kept thinking about that. You just gotta keep consistent, and when I heard the Tiger Woods story, I'm like, you know what, maybe the 75 hard thing would be my last putt to win a Masters.
Yeah, like
that can be my. And you never know, because people are watching me right now that I don't even know that are watching me, and they could be like, wow, that guy's changed. That guy's turning around. Like, who is this guy? Like, did he hit rock bottom? I'm like, okay, well, don't do it for others. Do it for yourself.
Yeah, and I've definitely noticed, like, you're not just sitting on that. You're not just sitting on those stories saying, well, this happened to me, so I'm just going to sit here down and depressed. And you're reaching, you're trying to scratch up, claw up to get back up on your feet and just get as high, like just up there. So I commend you on that, is just not sitting there just loathing over those events that happened in your life. So,
it kills me when you see people that do hit rock bottom and, like you said, they can't crawl back. They get into drugs. They just think that's the way out, and it's not. I mean,
but that's why we're here.
But that's why we're here. We're doing this right now.
Bringing people together, man. You got to have a support system.
Whether you believe in God or not, there's always going to be someone to help you.
Someone always higher.
There's always
someone's higher.
Someone's there for you. You just gotta know that. People are hitting rock bottom left and right. People, like, it's tough. Life's tough. If it wasn't, it wouldn't be fun, right?
This is up your alley, man. You got anything?
Yeah, start rambling, brother.
Nah, I don't want to ramble.
I want you to. You got to catch up from the last 2 episodes.
Well, no, I'm just taking it
You're
in.
a listener.
I am a listener.
I appreciate that.
I don't really speak until I have something that's worth talking about. So, I mean, obviously, a lot of traumatic events happening, in a chain reaction there. First of all, yeah, kudos to you for seeking God in that time, because, stigma nowadays is that's not the first go-to.
Exactly.
If it should be, but I'll leave that for a later conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But just know that those events were not caused by God. God takes events like that happen and will shift the outcome of those to benefit you. So, obviously just keep the positive mindset that, there's something there.
Absolutely.
I said it when Jacob and Emma were on, there's pretty big plan for their life. Truly felt like that was what God wanted me to say at that point. And at this point it's the same way.
Right.
Yeah.
You go through things and just know that there's a plan. It's where all these things circle back around.
Right here. I got my favorite Bible verse on my arm tattooed. Is Jeremiah 29:11, that God has a plan for you.
He does.
It's not to harm you. Not to harm you.
For sure. I mean, exactly.
And if you're struggling talking to him or feeling anything from him, or not able to feel that on your wrist or anything, I mean, you got Aaron, you have me, you have everybody. You've got support.
Yeah, and that's the thing that people don't realize. They're like, okay, I understand, like, some people don't believe in God because life gets hard.
Mm-hmm.
And like how they're like, how do you still believe in God after all this happened? And I have my beliefs and stuff, but then you can go back to, like you just said, I have you and you, and that's all I need. I mean, I have so many, thank God I have so many other friends and like family and that people love me, but like, not to sound like I'm a popular guy, but it's just like, you just need one person to believe in you.
Yeah.
And starting out, I've noticed it with your relationship with God and Jesus and everything, is it's definitely hard. It's definitely hard to just sit there and lean on it that quick and that easy and just be like, oh yeah, I just got God. Personally, it was hard for me to get grasp onto that. But so that's just staying consistent, and just stay consistent and
absolutely
keep reaching out and keep talking and keep praying. And that's where I keep learning.
It's hard for people that are trying to believe, to just read the Bible. I mean, it looks like a lot of jibber jabber, but like when you pray to God and ask him, like, hey, what's my plan? Like, what? He has a plan. You just got to understand, like, it's going to happen. You have no idea when. You just got to keep believing. But,
once you get the mindset that the Bible's just a book, get that out of your head.
Yeah.
And that it's a travel guide.
That's the best. That's the best way to put it. It literally has every section for you in life that you need.
It's true.
Marriage, childbirth, women in labor. There's a whole section about that.
Yeah, for sure. And for anyone that's refused or struggled or just lost in their voyage or refused to go lean on Jesus or anything like that, this is not what the point of this podcast is or anything. These are our beliefs. But just my one thing I'd like people to remember and always try to stick with, and that's why what we're trying to build here, is that you cannot do life without people.
Right.
And if you just need one little step, reach out. If you're struggling, if you're just depressed or anything like that, having feelings of just not feeling worthy, just reach out to somebody. Just reach out.
Someone will be there, whether you know them or not. I've had people, you can go up to anyone and you never know what their heart's going to be. Mm-hmm. You can talk to any, I mean, some people get therapists and stuff like that, but anyone on the street could come out, there's always going to be someone there. And it triggers me nowadays when people are at their lowest point and they're like complaining left and right, like, oh my gosh, like, what am I gonna? My life sucks. Like, oh, this I don't want to wake up tomorrow. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I just want to have someone do it for me. But no one's gonna do anything for you if you don't, help yourself first. I mean, it's hard to get out there, but you gotta love life. I mean, you're here. It could be worse.
Yeah,
I'm saying, like, you could be in the hospital right now with life-threatening cancer or anything.
So going back to when you got, I guess we'll call it mug, jump, whatever. So we know what you could have done differently, which may or may have not avoided the situation. Not walking alone.
Right.
Maybe not walking down such a dark street. I don't know how all the streets are in Columbus.
They're usually dark. Yeah.
Okay. So there's some things you just can't avoid, but going forward, what are some things you could do differently?
Well, going forward, I'm definitely going to have to, obviously, I'm telling this to the people that are, in a kind of bad areas, just don't go outside alone. I mean, people don't care what time of day it is.
Your target.
Anymore. You're your target. If you're alone, it's easy. If you have something in your hands, like I did, you're easy. It's just, I mean, I don't know if it would have happened if I had someone with me or not. Yeah, I mean, God knows, but if someone was with me, like a girl that, or someone I actually cared about, or like, and they got harmed while I was there, I think it would have changed a lot. I mean, it was obviously eye-opening, but I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
That's the best part.
Exactly. So I don't know how it would have went down, but it went down for a reason.
What has been the hardest thing you've been dealing with it? Any of it? I mean, you just got those events stacked on one after another.
It was I couldn't talk to anyone really about it besides you. Because I was in my, it was like a lot, like we said before, the passing of our grandma, and it's like, okay, who do I talk to? Like, I'm breaking down in my room.
You probably have stress going on with school too, right?
Anxiety and stress, which leads to depression, and I don't let that, I don't let that get to me. But it's just like everything is adding up. Like, God, how can you help me with this right now? Because I have one after another, and after the mugging, I'm like, seriously? Like, I'm looking over my shoulder every time I go outside right now. Like, I'm scared, and that's not how you're supposed to live life. That's really not.
So, I mean, what have you learned about yourself through all this?
What have I learned about myself? Well, I have a harder hit than I thought I did, because I think I knocked him out. I mean, he wasn't moving, and I think I had a little crack in my finger. I was putting Brussels sprouts on my hand while the cops were talking to me, so that hurt.
So don't mug Drew, people.
Don't mug me, because I will knock you out cold. I'm looking at you. But what?
He's pointing at you. He knows I can take him.
Yeah, I don't think I can hit him in the face. The beard might block it.
It's a security fence. Protects my throat.
It's fiery too.
Throat shots suck.
Those are he hit me in the lip, so that kind of sucked. But what did I learn about myself? I think it's just I've become obviously closer with God, but I've become more careful and much more grateful that I'm alive. And every day, you never know who's going to get taken from your life. I think that right there is the biggest thing I've learned. It's like, even though it happened to me, I thank God every day for my family and my friends. And like, you just got to think about it. It's like, you never know when someone's going to get taken from you.
Yeah.
You never know. And it's just like that. It's hard.
It's definitely a trend to not be ungrateful. Wake up every day grateful for your blessings.
And okay, people, just call your mother and tell her you love her. I'm telling you right now, because she worries and she's seen a lot.
Are you sucking up to mom right now?
Yeah, kind of. If you're listening, mother. I did get mugged, but I love you. And we can call you.
Wait, does she know about this?
She knows.
She doesn't know the details. You've not talked to her about it.
No.
Perfect.
Dad didn't want me to. Dad's like, don't say
he
anything.
knows.
He knows.
Okay.
And he's like,
what's
what?
worse, man? This or Stolly's dropping their pregnancy on us?
gosh. Yeah, that was
for you guys. Definitely your mom not knowing how detailed this was.
I don't. Yeah.
No,
well,
that's out of my hands.
Yeah, I'm pretty much screwed now. I should be more worried about her than the mugger.
It'll be all good.
I think doorbell. Is that her? The door?
Mom?
Oh, yeah. Well, we should probably end it right now. That was good. But like I was saying before, just tomorrow, today, whether it be next week, call a loved one and just tell them that you care and that you love them, because you don't know what they're going through and they don't know what you're going through. Just catch up with someone. It's like, you know, because like I said, you don't know.
Yeah, especially someone you haven't talked to in a long time. I mean, I try to do that.
Yeah.
Just call someone you've got in your phone that you
like an
met,
old friend.
5 years ago?
Yeah. Like
and
from high school.
That was the last time you seen them. So,
like, hey, how you doing? Like,
yeah.
Because they could be at their lowest point right now. And you never know. You call them and like, oh my gosh, like you actually saved my life.
Yeah.
And that's huge. And like with Grandpa John, he just lost his wife.
Yeah.
That's probably the hardest thing someone could go through is losing your spouse for what?
Someone you've lived under the same
years?
roof for, I'm not 100% sure on the exact year. It's been a long time.
Yeah, that you've loved them for this long and now they're just gone, and he couldn't even walk in the closet.
Yeah, every single thing in that house reminds him
Every
of her.
single, and it was all her too.
Yeah.
She decorated the whole thing. How do you wake up every morning and realize that they're gone, and then look at everything and then like, wow, like this is it. Like this is life now. Like that's what I'm just saying. Like I try to call him once a month just to see how he's doing.
Yeah.
And you know,
to this day he's still struggling. I know it. Just it's hard.
Well, after she passed, it was their anniversary.
Yeah.
And then her birthday. How do you like that's so tough. He's home alone.
Yeah.
I mean, he has the dog, but I mean, I heard she was going through, you know, some stuff because she's getting older. But it's just like, man,
that's why we gotta be there.
Exactly. You have to. You want people to be there for you, but you have to be there for others too.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of others, what have you learned from others? Like how did people react? Were they there for you? Did something stick out that, if anything, from anyone else?
It was definitely it was you, I think, because it hit me hard. Obviously that it happened, and I called you. I didn't think of anything of it because I can trust you. And then the next day you went above and beyond and say, hey, dude, like, I know this is affecting you, because no one else really talked about it. They're like, okay, he just got mugged. Like, it's chill.
Yeah.
But that affected my life. And I think you knew that. And you texted me and called me the next day saying like, hey, do you need to come here and like watch baseball?
Yeah.
Drink a beer, get it off your mind. And that was huge for me because I was, like I said, I was at my lowest point.
Got you, dog.
Yeah. And it changed. I obviously didn't come because I was 2 hours away, but and it was almost a school night, but like it just felt good that someone actually took it seriously and cared.
Yeah. Well, it's just this. I hate to be cheesy. It's not cheesy to me, man. But this fire through fog thing, like, it's something. I mean, when someone's fire is dim, it's about to be out. I mean, what other way to build it up? I mean, yeah, you can do it yourself, but if in the moment, I mean, that fire's smoldering. I'm gonna dump some fuel on it, and I'm gonna help you out. So let's just be that for someone. I mean, that's why this is what we want to do here, is provide these outlets for people to just go out and find that kindling or that fuel or that gasoline. I mean, gasoline's usually not a good idea to put on a fire, but hey,
when you're that
in this
low,
moment, a big positivity thing is throw some fuel on it.
I think the strongest thing you can do as a human is, like, when you're at your lowest and you know someone else is at their lowest, is to just step up and help them out, because you know how good that'll make you feel. It'll bounce back and forth pinball, because you helping someone it just brings light to your life. Even though you're struggling and they're like, look at that guy, like, oh wow, he's worse. Like a guy on the side of the road, like, even though if you're running out of money, but he has nothing. Yeah. Absolutely nothing. And it kills me. But I mean, there's obviously like
I think I was taught that from someone I know about giving people money on the side of the road, is to not even think about it.
Right.
Just do it. And don't people judge. They're like, no, I'm not giving the money because they're going to go take and get alcohol and drugs. Like,
exactly.
I used to be one of those people, but now it's like, I got someone to feed me something else to change my mindset on that. And it's simple as that. Just don't think about it.
Right.
So if I see anybody now, it's just I'm gonna give them what I have.
Right.
So because then I'm not gonna think about it.
They're at that point they're worse off because I'm driving a car and they're on the side of the street begging to live. Like that's crazy. You don't know their story. You don't know what happened.
Exactly.
And you have no right to ask. It's just like you just gotta trust
or judge,
or you can judge. Yeah.
No, I mean not judge.
I mean yeah.
To not judge, because there's only one person that can judge us.
That's
so
exactly right. Yeah. And even if like people are, there's rude people out there, but even if they're being rude to you in line or like fast food, go through, pay for their food.
Yeah.
Just change their day, change their mood. Kill with kindness.
Pay it forward.
Mom always says.
Yeah. Yep. So you've given a lot of lessons, but what is the one lesson that sticks out the most to you of all this?
Obviously,
big question.
Like the biggest one is like don't take life for granted.
Yeah.
But what would be the biggest lesson I can give someone? I got Grandpa Leo says the joke all the time. He's like, the waitress, he's like, I'll give her a tip is don't pee in the wind. But
is that really the lesson we're coming from?
Yeah.
Oh, we need to get him on here soon.
Oh, yes, we do. Yes, we do.
That would be interesting.
I think, man, I don't know what the biggest lesson I could say is. Just when you wake up. Okay, yeah, here we go. When you wake up in the morning, everyone tries to,
Why did that start out like an infomercial?
When you wake up in the morning and you don't have anything to put on, wear this robe. No. People always go for something that bugs them or complain about, or they look at social media right when they wake up.
Mm-hmm.
Right when they wake up. I think you should have a book right next to you or have a something to play music a Bible. If you believe in that. But the first thing people grab in the morning is their phone.
Mm-hmm.
And they look at the news. Oh my gosh, this person was murdered. This person just got rid of their kids. It's like so much going through their minds that like so much.
You're starting your day off terrible.
Horrible. It's horrible. And I think I would suggest people just the first, I don't know, it could be 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't look at your phone. Go do something. Kiss your kids. Kiss your wife.
Mm-hmm.
Do something other than look at your phone, look at social media. Just get away from all that, the devil, trying to persuade you.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the society today is, everything you see on the news is negative. There's never any positive. You never have a positive story.
No.
Or if you do, it's pushed to the last story of the news where people are already, I've already seen the weather. I don't watch the news anymore because, people, let's be real, people watch the news for the weather, right?
Mm-hmm.
That happens.
Right.
I did when Al Roker was on.
You have to.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
But I mean, like you're saying, that negative that you wake up from your sleep, from your rest, refreshed and renewed,
ready to take on the day. Yep.
Only to negate that by looking at the negative news.
And
it's a mind shift.
It's crazy.
It's the only way to stay connected.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Apparently.
It's crazy. It's like all you see nowadays is people with their heads down and their face in the phone. That's all you see.
And kids too.
Kids nowadays. I was just gonna say that. Kids nowadays don't go outside and play in the mud, get cuts and scrapes and get diseases, and like that's what you're supposed to do. You gotta.
Mm-hmm.
Life is changing. I wouldn't say for the better on some things, but
it's fear driven.
It takes a lot of us though.
It
takes us to turn that around and shift it and keep it going in the right direction.
And the thing is that most people in the world don't like what we do. And spreading positivity. And they're like, oh, this is boring. Like, I don't want to listen to this.
But that's the only thing that's showing nowadays is that people don't believe in this stuff. No. I'd say, personally, I feel like that's a small percentage that they're showing this, that the negativity and stuff. That's all it is.
It's everything.
But when you get that wave of people that is that positive, and again, what we're trying to do here, and we get this movement going, it's going to be a tsunami. I mean, you're going to start picking up people that are like, oh, they're having fun.
Right.
They're laughing. They're smiling. They're happy. Like, what? I don't want don't want to sit here. I mean, because once you start building those, is endorphins the wrong one? Those are good, right? Endorphins, not cortisol or endorphins.
Right.
Once you get that built up and people, you start surrounding yourself with those type of people, it's a domino effect. So
I got advice. Another something else. I've been giving it all this whole podcast, but it's wake the hell up. We were talking about it earlier. Wake up earlier than you usually do. Just wake up. Break a routine. People are so comfortable with what they do in their life right now, and that's what we're talking about. Their phone, their the devil, masturbation, things that ruin
the easy stuff.
Ruin your mind. They're taking the easy way, but it's just like when you wake up, wake the hell up. Wake up at 5 a.m. Wake up. What does every business successess owner do? They wake up before anyone even thinks about. They wake up before Grandpa's done snoring. That's and it's crazy.
Victim mentality.
Exactly. You just gotta you gotta find that line inside of you. You gotta find something to motivate you in life. And it's sad to see all these people just moping around. Like, just one day, just try it. Just I know it's gonna be uncomfortable. Like we did the 75 hard today, and I've been going to the bathroom every 5 minutes because I'm drinking a gallon of water. Yeah. I worked out twice, almost threw up, but I feel good.
Yeah.
I feel good.
Get the blood flowing.
And I think it's my return to glory. It's I will better myself.
That's great. And I mean, that's just going to lead right into the final question is overall, what do you think, what is the meaning of being a fire through fog is to you?
Well, I mean, we've gone through it a ton. I think the fire is, like I said, you find that when you're at your lowest point in life, and if it wasn't what I just had, I don't know, God, I hope it's not worse, but there's something in your body that's just right there that just you need that last spark, that last thing before, because people are going out, horrible things, committing suicide and everything. Everyone has a spark. Everyone has a spark. You just gotta believe and find it. You gotta pull through and do that last little step. And there's someone going to be there to grab you, whether it be God or your family. You just got to believe, man. You can't just mope around. Like I said, wake up and get that fire started. Fire through fog. I mean, your life could be foggy right now, but light your butt on fire and get out there in the world. Change a path. You know?
I mean, so fire, we broke that down: fitness and health, intelligence, resilience, and efficiency as of right now.
Right.
What is the one that sticks out to you the most, and what are some things that you can do to build all these, to build your fire as big as possible?
Could you repeat that? Sorry.
So F is for fitness and health,
okay.
Intelligence for I, resilience, and efficiency.
Okay. Well, obviously the biggest one right now is fitness and health for me. I've never been I've been fit, but I've never been where I wanted to be. And that's probably the hardest thing to do in life is change your body, like sculpt it. Like how do people wake up every day and just, you can create your body how you want it to be. And that reflects on your person, your daily activity, your daily experience and what you do in life. And that's okay. Like I don't judge people, but I think the fitness part is really taking over, doing the 75 hard. I think that's my road to glory.
Cool.
The return to glory is just,
then we got to keep each other accountable.
Exactly. Like we said, you need someone.
Yeah.
You need that, like that flame to keep going. You need someone to keep putting the gasoline on. And it could be anything. Resilience. It could be, what was that?
I mean, it seems like it's so, efficiency and then intelligence.
Right, intelligence. Yeah,
building your mind.
Intelligence,
your mind.
reading a book.
Yeah.
People don't read books nowadays. Like I said, they read social media and they get bad news, but read a book.
Yeah.
That helps you.
And you seem to have pretty solid resilience. Though I thought, but then hearing that this has kind of been your rock bottom. Let's see what the resilience is made of. Let's build the fire.
Exactly. Let's see how far I can go from where I was. And I think that's the coolest thing. That is what it is, lighting my fire.
Nice.
Even getting started with Dad and the company. I'm like, I'm ready to get out and I'm ready to do good for the world and make a difference. Because it's been the lowest point for 4 years at college because it's just been You
It's
know,
a lot.
exhausting.
Yeah.
It's exhausting. And these kids coming out of college nowadays, they don't have jobs, and they're $40,000 to $90,000 in debt.
Yeah.
And they have nothing. They're working at factories right now, and it's just like they just need to find that spark. And
Yeah. Awesome, man.
Yeah.
You
No, that's good.
anything to follow up on?
I don't know. No, I think I'm good. I mean, that's
You got
powerful story
Yeah.
for sure.
I'm glad I could share. I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't been able to talk to anyone about it. I think having the mic in my face is just like I feel comfortable just
No, it was good.
saying everything.
It was good.
you know,
It was awesome.
going
I
at it.
really appreciate it. I appreciate your
yeah.
time. And
Absolutely.
do you got anything else that you want to say to close us out?
Let's hope we get back to full capacity at football games and go Buckeyes.
Yes, sir. How do you feel about that, Uke? Anything?
Yeah.
Follow up on that?
No comment.
Well, I appreciate everybody's time and listening
thank
tonight.
you.
Everybody have a good night.